Welcome to the class. The first thing you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You need to select math as your subject. This lesson is for grade 2 and the name of the topic is units of measurement. Okay, units of measurements. It means that different lengths can be calculated in different ways, right? A height of a person is in feet. This the size of the cake could be inches and centimeters, right? So different things. The size of the land is done differently. Okay, so I'll give you the chapter number and I will give you the lesson number. The chapter number is 19 and the lesson number is 1. Okay, so units of measurements is chapter number 19 and the first lesson, the lesson number 1, right? Just a moment. Okay, that is lesson number 1. Okay, and the name of the lesson is which, okay, customary unit, customary unit, okay, I'll just explain, of length is appropriate. Okay, it means when we are measuring certain things, when we are measuring the length of a car or length of a train or a length of an aeroplane, right, we cannot take centimeters. We have different units, so we are using different unit to calculate. Okay, so before doing this, I'll show you an example, a simple example of two different units. Okay, so let's suppose we know we have a ruler, right? I'll just remove this. Okay, if we have a ruler, so sometimes when we look at the ruler, it says inches, right? And it says centimeters. Agreed? We have two units. These are known as the units of length. Okay, so I'll just separate this and we'll see what are inches. Okay, the length of 1 inch would be from this point to this point, right? And the inches are divided into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means this is 0.5 inch, right? Half inch and so on, because this was 1 inch over here, right? But if we want to compare the length of an inch to a centimeter, so can we get a centimeter from here? This is a centimeter rule. Okay, so can we compare them together? Okay, let's try to compare them together by putting them very close to each other. Okay, so can we say that this length was from here till here 1 centimeter? Agreed? From here till here, this was second centimeter. That means an inch is approximately 2.6, right? 2.5 something, 2.6. So we can say that 1 inch would be equals to 2 point, if this is 1 inch over here, 2.5 something centimeter, right? So we can compare to, what we can do is we can compare the two units of measurements, or a person's height can be taken in centimeters. People can have a height of 160 centimeter, or sometimes they can have a height of 5 feet, right? Close to each other, right? So we have these values which can be used for measuring the lengths, right? Hi, May. Okay. So let's look at what we can use and what we cannot use. Okay. So what the question in the first question we have is, they're saying which one of the options would be a better. Okay, let's suppose this is our question number 1. I'll just resize it so that it's much more readable. Okay, which is a better estimate of the length of a bath mat? If we are measuring a bath mat, question number one, which measure should be better? Can we do, let's suppose if we have two options, okay? We would say we can measure it in inches, right? Or we can measure it in feet, right? So which one would you prefer using? See, we know that 1 foot or 1 foot would be equals to 12 inches, right? That means we need to remember that a foot is greater than inches, right? Okay, this is something that we need to remember. A foot is always greater than inches, right? So if you have a bath mat, right? So would you want it to be very small in inches, or you would want it to be enough to clean your feet, right? Right? So which is a better estimate for the length of the bath mat out of these two options? So I say, I would personally say, because inches would be very small towel, right? So I would say feet is a better measure, right? Because inches would be too small. Okay? So we would prefer using the length in feet. Okay? We're just looking at which unit to use. We are not calculating anything in this. It's just that if two units are given to us, we are just trying to see which one should we be using. Okay? So let's try another question and let's see. With one or two more questions, it would be very clear for us, right? Okay. The next question says, which is a better estimate for the length of a parking space? Okay. And the parking space is given in the unit of 7. Okay. Let's suppose we have two options for the parking space. Let's suppose the first option was 7 feet, okay, or 7 yards. So which should be greater? Which unit should be used for the parking lot? Can a size of a car be 7 feet? Size of the car is not usually 7 feet, right? The cars are bigger than 7 feet. So that means for a length that is more than 7 feet, we cannot put it in 7 feet, right? We would need how much? We would need 7 yards. Do we agree on that? A yard is almost 100 centimeters. Okay. A yard is like if you spread your arms from one tip of the other arm to the other side of the arm, that is 1 yard. Okay. Or one tip of your arm to the other shoulder, that is 1 yard, approximately 100 centimeter on an average human being, right? So 7 inches, 7 feet, or 7 yards. So we can also say that 1 yard is approximate. This wave says approximate. Okay, it's approximately equals to 3 feet. I'm using rounded off value over here, right? So which should be greater? We can say we multiply by 3. That means it should be more than 21 feet, right? So 21 feet is a better length for a parking space, right? That means we would consider 7 yards is a better estimate for a parking garage, right? Do we agree? Okay. I'm just taking an approximate value. It doesn't have to be exactly. I'm taking 1 yard to be 3 feet. Okay. Thank you so much for your answer. Okay. The next question we have is, which is a better estimate for the length of a TV remote? Okay. Okay. Let's see what options they are giving. Okay. Let's just compare. They gave two options. Let me just copy them. For the length of a TV remote, right? They're saying the TV remote could be, how much is it given? Just a minute. Okay. They're saying is 11 inches a better estimate or 11 yards? Which value is a better estimate of for a TV remote? What should be the ideal TV length? TV. What is the ideal unit that we use for measuring the length of a remote, TV remote, or any remote? Can we have 11 yards long TV remote? Like bigger than maybe around 2 cars length, right? So what should be a better estimate for a TV remote? Yes, option number 1. Thank you. That means 11 inches is a better estimate for the length of a TV controller, right? Or what we can say is, we know that 1 yard is equals to 3 feet, right? And every feet is equals to 12 inches, right? So can we say 1 yard, sorry, 1 yard would be equals to 3 into 12 inches? Approximately. That means 36 inches, right? So this was 11 yards. Can we say 11 into 36, right? Approximate, not very accurate, right? And we are just trying to approximate your, if someone asks you what is your height, you do not say like 4'11", 5'3" point something, right? You just say 5'3" or 5'5", right? That means it comes out to be 396 inches over here. So we can say that 11 yards was 396 inches. So no one would want such a huge remote, right? So 11 inches is a preference. Yes, 11 inches is a preference. You do not have to do this conversion, right? I am not asking you to do the conversion. I did the conversion just to explain, okay, the difference between the two lengths, okay? You do not have to do the conversion unless and until it's being asked for. Okay. The next we have is, okay, height of a car. So we know that a height of a car could be, when we are sitting in a car, it could be a variable length. Let's see what are the two options given to us. Okay, let me just bring it down. Height of the car. This is question number 4. Okay, question number 4 says which is a better estimate for a height of a car? If I would say 5 inches or 5 feet. What is the better estimate for a height of a car? The car should be high enough to accommodate a person, right? But 5 inches is very small, right? We take the heights usually in people and car and land in which unit? Inches or feet? What is a better estimate for the height of a car? Yes, it is 5 feet. Thank you, May. Right? Or we can change the feet into inches also, right? Just to see what is the. There is 5 multiplied by 12, that is 60 inches. Because we know 1 foot has 12 inches, right? So the car's height should be 60 inches, good enough for a person to sit. So we can say 5 feet is a better estimate, right? For the height of the car. We cannot have 5 inches, okay? Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question. Okay, if it's singular, one, that is foot, but if it's more than one, then it would be feet. Okay, that's the rule we need to remember. We cannot write 5 foot. It has to be 5 feet. Okay. Okay, let's see. For the next question, what they're saying is, I think they're talking about a basketball field. Yes, basketball court. So if they are speaking about the basketball court, let's see. In order in order to, we know it's huge, right? Basketball court should be very big. So let's suppose this is question number 5. Which is a better estimate for the length of a basketball court? And the given values, given comparisons to us are 29 feet and 29 yards. We have 29 feet or 29 yards. So we can say that 1 feet was approximately, 1 foot was approximate, not accurate 3, but approximate 3. Sorry, 1 yard was approximately 3 feet, right? So we can say 29 multiplied by 3, that is 57, right? I think. No, 87, sorry. So that would be 87 feet. And if we are talking about a basketball court, right? So we know that from one side of the court, we have to go to the other side of the court. So the basketball court has to be 29 yards, right? Feet is a smaller estimate. Yards is a better estimate for the length of a person, feet. Length of a court, basketball court, tennis court, football ground, anything. For the length of a, that is done in yards. Basketball courts. Okay. Yes, 29 yards. I'm just doing an approximate 87 feet. You don't have to do it. We are just comparing the values in the same quantity, right? So we want to see which one is more. So for the next question, thank you, May. Okay, length of an aeroplane. So an airplane would be bigger, right, than a basketball court, obviously. So let's see what we can do over here for the length of an airplane. Airplane, okay. It's written at airplane. Question number 6. The two comparative values given to us are, they're saying, okay, 44 feet to 44 yards. So what should be the better estimate of the length of an airplane? Airplane. See, when we saw a basketball court, right? We said better is in yards. So an aeroplane is bigger than the basketball court, right? Agreed. In the previous question, when we compare it to the previous question, we will say an airplane is bigger than the basketball court. And if the basketball court was in 20, that was 29 yards, then the airplane has to be more than 29, right? So what we say is yards is a better estimate, right? So we say yards is a better estimate for calculating or estimating the length of an airplane, right? Okay. Thank you so much. So we are just looking at yards and feet. So we agree with that yard is a good value. We do not use the feet. Okay. Feet would be a small estimate for an aeroplane. Okay. Okay, let's see. For those, I just read the question myself and I was like, what are they talking about? But robin is a bird, right? Sorry, I'll just paste it. So they are asking us in this question is, what is the better estimate for the height of a robin, right? And we know that it's a bird, kind of a bird. And it's a bird, right? So we can say that a height of a bird, and the two options we are given are 10 feet or 10 inches. Can a bird other than ostrich, maybe twice, can there be any other bird that is twice your height? You don't think so, right? Because if they said ostrich, we would have been fine with that. Ostrich can be tall, right? But they're saying it's a bird, that's a robin, it's a smaller bird. So what is a better estimate for the height of a robin? Would it be 10 feet? 10 feet is on an average twice your height, right? So have you seen a bird twice your height? I don't think so, right? We haven't seen a bird twice our height. But we have seen a bird that is 10 inches. Yes, thank you, May. So we say that inches is better, right? So we say inches is a better estimate for the height of a bird, right? That is robin. Thank you. So what we are doing is we are just trying to see, we are not trying to calculate anything, we're just trying to see which is a better option for us. Okay. Okay. So for those, okay, we can have different kinds of belts. Okay. The next question says, which is a better estimate for the length of a belt? We can have a taekwondo belt, we can have a leather belt or anything, right? We're just looking at different options, right? So we know that a belt must be worn around the waist, right? So a belt is worn around the waist and the waist length can be, okay, we look at the answer. 1 yard is a better option, or 1 inch? Which is the better option for finding a length of a belt? In this case, we know that 1 yard was how many? Approximately 3 feet, right? And each feet was 12 inches. So can we say that 1 yard would approximately be 36 inches, right? Have you seen a person having a waist of 1 inch? That's not possible, right? So 1 yard came out to be 36 inches, right? Approx. I'm not doing an accurate, I'm just doing an approx, right? So what is the better estimate in find? Yes, 1 yard. We can say yard is a better estimate for the length, for finding the length of a belt. Agreed? Thank you, May. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. You are Halazar. Okay. Thank you. Good. So, okay, let's see what is a better estimate for a fire truck. If they have given us feet and yards, okay? So if they are saying this is the question given for us, and they're asking the length for a fire truck. They say, just a minute, please. 26 feet. We have 26 feet versus 26 yards. We know that for the aeroplane, the height was around 44 yards, right? We just need to understand. They gave us 44 yards for an airplane, right? The fire truck has to be less than the airplane, right? Right? Like if a football field, it cannot be size of a football field, right? Half the basketball court. So what is the better? If they would have said what is a better estimate for a transportation truck, like a big truck, right? 40-wheel truck, then we could have said for 26 yards, right? But a fire truck has to be not too big, not too small, because they have to find an access in narrow alleys as well, right? It cannot be very big, right? So what we can say is, which is a better estimate? Yards or feet in this case? Yes, May. Thank you so much. 26 feet. So we say feet is a better estimate, right? For finding the length of a fire truck. Thank you. The next question we have is, in this topic, we are not trying to find anything. We are just trying to analyze that which unit should be used to find which length. Okay. If I would say my height is 6 kilometer, so you will understand that my height cannot be 6 kilometer. It could be 6 feet. It could be 5 feet, right? So we are just trying to find, or you say the distance between my home and my school is 10 centimeter. That's not understandable, right? It could be 10 kilometers or it could be 10 miles. So we are over here, what we are trying to do is we are trying to look at the preferred units that can be used in order to find lengths of particular shapes, right? Okay. So in the next question, what they're saying is question number 10, they say, and I will just try to find the values. Okay. 16 feet compared to 16 inches. So, which should be a better estimate for the length of a great white shark? If there is a 16 inches of shark, right? You would not even be afraid of it, right? Then it would be just a shark. It would not, you wouldn't even call it a great white shark, right? Because 16 inches is, you just open up your arms and that's small length, right? 1.5 feet or yeah. But 16 feet, yes, thank you, May, is a big height. If our height on average is 2 feet on an average, I'm saying it's usually less than 2 feet. So the great white shark is almost 8 to 10 times longer than a average human, right? That means if we think we are tall, then 10 times our height would be very tall, right? That is 16 feet. So we say that 16 feet is a better estimate, right? For the length, for finding the length of a great white shark. Okay, thank you, May. So let's try to do some questions from the test. Okay, let's apply some questions from the test so that we have a better idea of what needs to be done. Okay, they are just 14 questions, right? So we will try to do as many questions as we can. The remaining, please do complete it for your homework. Okay, so we are done with 10 examples. Let's try these questions. Okay, okay. For which is a better estimate for the length of a hamster? This is question number 1 from the test. Okay, you also have the test on the right hand top corner of your screen, and we can do it together also, right? Okay, so can you help me out with this? What should be the answer? Length of a hamster. Can a hamster be 10 yards long? 10 yards is around half of a tennis court, approx, or a pickle or paddle court, right? Can a hamster a pet? Yes, it cannot be that big, right? If the size of the pet is 10 yards, then it would be petting us rather than we petting the, okay? That is 10 inches, right? Thank you. So can we click on 10 inches together and we go on to the next question? So the next question say of a robin. Okay, we just did a similar question but different value. What is a better estimate for the length of a robin? We did a similar question but different value over here. Robin is a bird. Okay, that would be question number 2. 10 years? What is years? Oh, yards. No, no, no. It cannot be yards. A hamster is very small. Halazar, you wrote 10 years. Yeah, it was 10 inches, right? For the next one is, yes, 10 inches. Thank you. Okay. Let's look at, no, it's 10 inches. Bird. A robin is a bird, right? A bird cannot be twice your height. An approximate 10 feet on an average is twice the height of a human, right? So we cannot have a bird that is twice the height of a human, right? So we can have 10 inches. Okay. Moving ahead to the next question, that would be inches. Okay. Fire truck. Let's see which is a better estimate for the length of a fire truck. Let's copy it down. Let's paste it over here. Just a minute I would need. I just need to align this. Okay. So what is a better estimate for the length of a fire truck? A fire truck would be 26 feet or 26 yards. Can I have the answer? 26 feet, we can understand what is feet. But yards, whenever we are doing yards, if it's 26 feet and 26 yards, that means you multiply by 3. That would be very huge, right? A fire truck cannot be greater than, let's suppose, a basketball court or a tennis court, right? It has to be a smaller, right? Yes. Thank you, May. We say that 26 feet is a better measure, better estimate for the length of the fire truck. Thank you, May. Moving on to the next question. We'll try to do as many as we can. If we can complete all, that would be even better. But I would want you people to do the remaining if there's some are left. Okay. So the next question we have is, okay, what is a better estimate for the length of a belt? We did the belt already, but over here just a different value. So the question number 4 states that, which is a better estimate for the length of a belt? Can we have the answer? 1 inch belt, right? If we open up two fingers together and there's a small gap between the fingers, that is 1 inch. Would a belt height or the length would be 1 inch? Can it be 1 inch? I don't think so, right? But we know that 1 yard is approximately 3 feet, right? So we say that 1 yard was approximately 3 feet, right? The length of the belt could be, the length of the belt could be, what is the possible approximate estimate? Yes, 1 yard. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, May. Okay, we click on 1 yard. We move on to the next question. The next question says, okay, this is new for us. What is the better estimate for the height of a mailbox? Right? We've got a post box. Let's see what is the preferred height. Should it be inches or yards? See, at one of these values, it would be so high that we would need a huge ladder to reach the mailbox, right? But do we want to do that? Do we wish to use a ladder to just to get our mail? We want the mailbox to be accessible, right? Yes, Haladar. The next question is, which is a better estimate for the height of a mailbox, right? We know that yards would be too big, right, for this. Why would we want a mailbox at, if you have a house with a garden and everything, so why do you want to put it mailbox on the 10th floor, right? That would be yards. So what we prefer is 45 inches. It should be there in within the reach of the postman and you as well, right? If you want to take the mail, you can easily take out the mail, right? Okay. So let's see another question. The next question, this was 45 inches. Okay. So, okay. What is a better estimate for the height of a shower head? Okay. Okay. What should be the better height? Do you wish the shower head to be on the floor? Where should be the shower head? Above us, right? What we expect in the shower head is that it should be higher than us. And what our height, it should be nearer to our height or more than our height. So which unit should we use? Feet or inches? Which unit should be used for the shower head? Feet or inches? Shower head. It says shower head. Should be 5 feet or 5 inches. We would want the shower head to be above us, right? So if our height is 5 inches, our height is not 5 inches, right? It could be 5 feet, right? So we want the shower head to be above us. So the height of the shower head should be in more than our height. And we calculate human height in feet, right? Usually it's feet. Feet. So we can say that, yes. Thank you, May. 5 feet is the correct estimate. Thank you. Let's try one more. That was 5 feet. When, okay. Okay. How can this be? Yeah. Okay. You might have, if you're doing this question, it might have an error on that. It would say it's incorrect, 5 feet. But logically, it's not incorrect. Maybe just the option selection is a problem. Okay. So we know that it has to be 5 feet. Logical. We are doing it logically. Okay. For the length of a bath mat, if you're bathing and once you go out, there's a floor mat, right? So what should be the estimate, better estimate of a bath mat? It cannot, it should be, when we step on it, it should be bigger enough to hold our feet, right? And since we say that we are standing on it, we are covering it by feet, the length should be in feet, right? Because our feet, the length of our feet is not in inches, 2 inch. Yes, 2 feet is a better approximate, better estimate, right? Let's try one more. This is 2 feet. Okay. Okay. Height of a car. Which is a better estimate for a height of a car? Let's see this. And we would be done with more than half the questions. Okay. For this question number 8, what is the preferred answer for the height of the car? What is a better estimate? A height of a car should be in feet or inches? A height of a car should be in feet or inches? Yes, it should be 5 feet. Okay, because we have to sit in the car also, right? So it has to be higher. Okay, so we are done around 8 questions, 6 are left. Please do complete the remaining questions as for your homework, okay? So that you may have enough practice, okay? Yeah, thank you, May. Just complete the remaining 6 questions and you'll be done with this topic, okay? Thank you so much. Have a nice day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.